please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Omegon 2, welcome back even, Electric Boogaloo. I'm going to apologise for this visual. Usually we do use an avatar, I know, but we are gearing up for the Merry Meggy month of Moistmas. I am quite busy, but I want to remain active. I'd like to start by saying thank you to everyone that subscribed after last week's video talking about the Adpocalypse, which is entirely Hassan Piker's fault. We hit our 10,000 subscriber milestone, got a little notification on my phone for it. How exciting. Today I want to continue by talking about kick streamers. Now I know this might seem like I'm punching down a bit, but since many of these fools make vast amounts of money clowning on people and cultures, it seems only right we bring some of that here, because it does quite well apparently. But also because I want to continue to talk about Johnny Somali, because things aren't going to get any easier for him. No, he's looking at some rather... Well, the potential is 31 years, which has gone up from initially 10, 15, 21, 26, and now 31 years he's looking at in a South Korean jail. Personally, I think they should just send him to the north. Was that too much? Are we not allowed to say that? I want to see how willing he is to clown on a Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il statue. I think that would be hilarious. Maybe see if he can get a selfie with Kim Jong-un, who is renowned for being such a lovely chap. If you are not as aware of what Johnny Somali has been up to, he basically has been globetrotting over the past 2 years, going to Japan, Israel, and South Korea. In doing so, he's gotten himself into trouble every single time, gotten arrested every single time, and then left the country because he got into more legal trouble, taking his IRL streaming format, aggravating locals, and dishonouring the country's culture. In Japan he was arrested at least twice. In Israel he aggravated the police and got arrested for it, which is an impressive move for somebody who then shouted, I'm an American, waving his passport thinking that got him out of trouble. And in South Korea he got arrested, well, for 2 separate things, but there are more being added to it as the investigation unfolds. He was ABUSIVE towards a local female, and he kissed a statue of a comfort girl. And just to go back to Japan, he made a number of comments at construction site workers in Osaka, shouting Fukushima, referencing the 2011 nuclear power plant disaster at those workers. He was arrested, released, arrested again a month later for disrupting a restaurant with loud noises on his phone. He was later found guilty of obstructing a business and fined around £1,000 before being kicked out of the country. Let's not forget that he got physically assaulted on the streets in Japan for that, by the way, for shouting Hiroshima and Nagasaki at locals and loudly threatening to bomb the country. He received a 50-day ban from Jerusalem after pinning printed photographs of Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Jewish streamer Aiden Ross to the Western Wall, which is a Jewish shrine. He was suspended from Kick earlier in the trip for promoting violent behaviour, including death, threats. He has, by the way, been permanently banned from Twitch, and that was because, in a video that I showed on the main channel, he sexually harassed a female police officer for an anti-government protest in Tel Aviv. He's not a nice guy, and this, by the way, is a prevailing problem with many streamers who do the IRL content, because they need to drum up the interest in who they are, because they're losers, they're vapid, they have very little of substance beyond causing and courting controversy. They exist solely to make their money from being a dick. Now I wish I had it in me at my age to do that still, but it turns out there are limits to what one is willing to do to make money. And in the case of Johnny Somali, he has gone from platform to platform trying to stay relevant and keep going. His recent arrests in South Korea have done him no favours, and unlike in other instances where he's simply been kicked out or he's fled, this time he can't. He has a travel restriction placed on him while the investigation is ongoing. It is quite impressive that South Korea is willing to front the bill to keep him in custody, or keep him in the country anyway, to prevent him from continuing his nonsense, his globe-trotting BS. This should catch you up as to who he is. By the way, this attitude of streamer, right, the existence, the avatar, the persona, why do I say it like that? This type of streamer is quite prominent and prevalent. It's been going on for a long time. IRL streamers go back to like Ice Poseidon with text-to-speech, where people would then use it to, in public, shout expletives through his phone. Yeah, it intentionally does the bait, and he reaps the reward and gets the added bonus of rather trash content. Or non-tent. I like non-tent. That's not as a thing to digest, more as a term to describe what this is. But now you've caught up, there are a couple of articles I noticed doing their rounds going back as far as the 20th of November, so 5 days prior to this video's release. Sportskeeda, controversial streamer Johnny Somali is accused of violating the Railway Act and anti-terrorism laws in South Korea. What happened was, Johnny fired up a live stream and obviously recorded some videos and published them at the same time, where on public transport, a subway, he started to blast disruptive and inappropriate text-to-speech messages. My earlier comments about that being foreshadowing. The new video featured one of his questionable shenanigans. He was playing the text-to-speech audio from his stream in full volume. The message's content was dubious as it included repeated threats in Korean. I said bomb already, haven't I? Those kind of threats. The clip was then shared by the legal mindset to Twitter, who labelled his actions as both violating the Railway Act and anti-terrorism laws. Now, for the sake of it, I'm going to play the clip, because it's right and unique context.
나에겐 폭탄이 있다. 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 나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
I'm sorry.
나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
Oh, what does it
나에겐
even say?
폭탄이
Oh, I
있다.
don't know. What?
나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
Guys, there's kids right here,
나에겐
bro.
폭탄이 있다.
This has since been deleted from his social media, because the last thing he'd want to do is get caught, well, being Johnny Somali, right? Deleting your VODs is a bit of a boomer move, because the internet really is forever. If you've done something stupid online, it will still exist somewhere. You can't remove it. From your own platform, sure, but nowhere else. Or your page, I guess. Anyone who's dumb enough to think that that is the case or that will happen, yeah, nah. Now, rather interestingly, underneath the tweet from Legal Mindset, some people have provided more of the VODs that have been deleted by Johnny Somali, others commenting that it would be funny if the video got used during his trial in South Korea, and that this is similar to Arab Andy, who committed a Class B felony for playing C4 sounds. Final one. For reference, everyone, even in the US, which is seen as the broadest free speech right, what he is doing there is a crime even before 9/11. This is where your ignorance, Johnny's especially, of differing cultures, laws, practices, comes into the forefront. Your ignorance cannot be used, though, as a plea to try and diminish responsibility. It's the whole plausible deniability thing, right? Diminished responsibility. You can't use it, because you've intentionally chosen to use what is considered hateful in those nations to gauge a response, to get a response, to get content out of it. There are reasons in some countries why tourists are not allowed to go to certain places. Japan restricts tourists' movements. There are many who believe because they come from what is considered the land of the free, that that should apply worldwide. That is not how it works. And in the case of Johnny Somali, he is now going to experience this firsthand, this reduction in his freedom. What one takes for granted because they've always had it, eventually ends up with somebody becoming quite arrogant. It also breeds entitlement. You need to appreciate what you have, because what you have grants you the ability to live a quality of life that can be considered better than some. This may well lead to others to look down on different cultures for being a bit more conservative or reserved. But you chose these countries on purpose. You chose them because you knew you would get the response. If you did this in somewhere like London, there's a chance you'd get arrested, yes. But you'd hide behind race because that's a guarantee of protection. If that didn't work, you also run the risk of very real, literal harm from the people. Because people are very protective about their countries, even in places that are considered more cucked. Now, we're not done with the articles, there are more to look at. Dexter2 had published one on the 21st of November. Johnny Somali threatens more comfort women statue antics if TikTok bans him, because TikTok is renowned for negotiating with the likes of Johnny Somali. or any content creator that thinks they are above any rules, really. Now, as you scroll through the article, it also talks about how he had deepfaked an AI Korean girlfriend. The Korean girlfriend in question, though, was a local celebrity. He's been accused of drug use, broadcasting North Korean propaganda, violating both anti-terrorism laws, the Railway Act. He went live on the 20th of November, as the article continues, and warned he would return to the Statue of Peace if he's banned on the platform. And we do in fact have a clip of this.
I swear to God, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go back to the statue tomorrow. Wallahi, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go to the statue tomorrow. No. You guys record this? Hello. Record this, please. Got a Korean shit right here. You think I left? I'm in Korea right now.
If what you want to do is further incriminate yourself in crimes or potential crimes, something tells me either you've got the best lawyer on the planet, the best get out of jail free card on the planet, or you're getting it all out of your system so you can be reformed and come back like Mizzy or something. Do you remember that? Mizzy was reformed by society because they learnt the error of their way. You start a whole new arc, or you think you will genuinely go through this, come out and continue as if nothing happened. There are many ors to this, aren't there? Now, the final thing we should of course look at is what he's been up to. On his remarkably small following on TikTok, he has published a number of videos. The first thanking his Somalian nation.
I'm gonna thank Allah for bringing me from Somalia to this Catholic country of Korea. I'm here to spread Islam. Thank you, Allah. I'm gonna pray 2 rakas to thank Allah.
You're born in Scottsdale, Arizona, but okay. Also, hanging out with kids, because that's what a grown man should be doing.
Johnny Somali! Johnny Somali! Johnny Somali! Johnny Somali! I'm influencing the youth! Yeah!
YouTuber Johnny Somali.
Yes, man. I love the kids, man. Cheers, man. I love the kids, man. What's up, yo? I love Korea, man. I love Korea, man. What's up, man? Shout out to the kids, man. Yeah.
Something about that feels wrong, and it's not just because you're vertically challenged. If your intention behind going to South Korea is to spread Islam, you might well be failing and dishonouring your faith at the same time. Your actions and attitudes portray your faith or your attempt at spreading the faith as one of intolerance towards culture and national identity. That might rub some people up the wrong way, and it may invigorate others who accuse that particular faith of being the very thing you are, intolerant. Additionally, while preaching about Somalia and your faith, you're wearing a MAGA hat, which tickles me to no end, because it shows that willingness to use many things that contradict each other to push your interpretation of that message. I still want a MAGA hat though, just to hang in my office, but it's made in America. We can't get them here, sad. Jokes aside, I think you're a tragic excuse for a human being. And I think as far as Kickstreamer go, well, formally, you are a great demonstration of the kind of problem that platform has and will continue to have for as long as idiots like you continue to influence others in nations they do not belong because they fail to grasp that they cannot push their ideas onto other countries. Countries that have experienced oppression and experienced war amongst itself over totalitarian regimes and vast cultural divides do not appreciate it when their history is crapped on by a midget.